to Navigation Trading Live. You are now part of a growing group of do-it-yourself traders who are trying to change the way investors think about building wealth. But because we don't believe in using financial advisors, stock tips, or traditional financial media, we have to do things different. We have to do things smarter. We do that through an art and a science we call trade hacking. At Navigation Trading, our methodology is based on statistics and probabilities, not hype or emotion. Our core strategies have been used by market makers, hedge funds, and floor traders for many years. Now we share these secrets with you. Whether your goal is to make an extra $1,000 per month or replace your current income, with our guidance, you can achieve financial success beyond your wildest dreams. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 12th. Market's going to open in just a few minutes. You're watching Navigation Trading Live. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Ready for a new good week of trading. We're going to jump in to start off with because there's a decent amount of stuff that I want to talk about in the actual what's going on in the markets. So I want to start out with the navigation trivia contest, though. Remember, contest rules: first listener to answer correctly wins, and you must post your answers in the comments section of Facebook or YouTube. If you email me, it will not count. So make sure you post your answers in the comment section. So this week's trivia contest has to do with the Navigation Trading Implied Volatility Indicator. And the question is, which symbols from the Navigation Trading watch lists do not provide accurate data for the indicator? Remember, some of them are just don't work, and some of them you have to use a corresponding ETF. So I want to know all the symbols. You got to name all of them. All the symbols that do not provide accurate data for the indicator. Go ahead and start posting those comments here on Facebook or YouTube, and I will announce the winner later. Good luck to everybody. And don't forget, this broadcast is all about you. So if you have any suggestions on topics you want me to cover, any questions that you have, any specific trading strategies that you want me to dive a little bit deeper into, feel free to shoot us an email or leave comments here, and we'll try to work that into a future broadcast. So let's go to the platform and take a look at what's going on. So we've got a little bit of a down market to open. I mean, look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's down over 0.75%, and that's on the back of a 2.5% drop on Friday. So can we really get some two-sided action? I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Is this just another opportunity for the buy the dippers? So as soon as it comes down, just kind of rips back higher. I mean, that's all it's been doing since the election, basically. Or are we actually going to get a little bit more momentum to the downside? So that is the magic question. But starting out, we've got a little bit of a down move in the NASDAQ again. What's interesting is how little of a move that the large caps got. So if you look at the Dow specifically, I mean, this was the Friday bar here, so it was relatively flat to higher when the Nasdaq was down 2.5%. Similar with the S&P 500, did have a little bit of a downside, and at one point it was down like 13 points, but it rallied back up even when Nasdaq was down 2.5%. And then IWM, if we look at the Russell, I mean the Russell was up on the day. So very interesting dynamics between the different equity markets. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of follow through we get here. If we get the bounce back up to the upside and look for new highs, or if we continue to fall to the downside. So we'll continue to monitor that. There's the opening bell. It's 8:30 Central Time. And look at the NASDAQ. Dropped a couple more points right just on the open here. Down now down over a percentage. If we get a close below Friday's close, I'm thinking that we're going to see continuation to the downside. if we bounce back up and close higher than the close on Friday, then I think that bodes well for the bulls, and we might see a kind of a continuation bounce back to the upside. So we'll continue to monitor that and see what happens. Let's take a look at some of these other markets. If we look at bonds, what's another interesting thing is bonds are down too. A lot of times you'll have that inverse correlation between stocks and bonds, where if stocks are down, then bonds will be up. But in this case, stocks are down and bonds are down. So we'll continue to see what happens there. You see the VIX getting a little pop in the VIX, about up over 8% to 11.6. Oil up 1.5%. If we take a look at oil, it's had that pretty decent run to the downside. Now we're getting a little bit of a pop back up. Look at gold. Gold's down just slightly. Silver down over 1%. Take a look at silver. You can see it's starting to come down. In SLV, there's, the only thing I really trade in there are straddles whenever implied volatility gets really high, because it's such a low-priced ETF that getting any kind of premium other than from a straddle is pretty difficult to do. So, but we haven't had high implied volatility in there in quite some time. I mean, you see this spike here was only up to the 30 level, so we'd have to go all the way back to January to see anything above 50 on the IV indicator. Natural gas up 1 percentage point. You can see it's up a little bit today. It's been fairly range bound. You can see soybeans down 0.5%, corn down 1.75%, wheat down over 2%, which is going to be nice for a couple of our positions. EWW, Mexican ETF, fairly flat. FXI, the Chinese large cap, down about 0.84%. FXE, the euro, pretty flat. EEM, down about 0.5%. EWZ, just pretty flat there. Look at this. Apple, down another 3.25%. So these NASDAQ stocks are just getting hit. Facebook down 1.5%. Netflix down another +3%. Google, Tesla, these are all big high-flying stocks that have just been cranking higher forever. Now we're seeing some downside. I mean, Amazon down another 2%. The banks continue to be strong. If you look at, for example, Goldman Sachs, even with the market down, the banks continue to push higher. IBM up a little bit. Let's see, any other big movers here. XRT, the retail, implied volatility getting closer to that 50 level, but it's up about a 0.5% today. Let's see if there's any other big moves in XOP, which is oil and gas. That's up, obviously, with oil up. Microsoft down, Target up. So the retailers and the banks seem to be doing well. eBay down. All the techs are getting hit. Okay, so with the down move in the NASDAQ, let's take a look at QQQ. We've got an IV percentile of 92. So as it relates to our trade of the week, QQQ is definitely the symbol that we'll be taking a look at. And so if we take a look at our trade tab, now we do have a vertical position that's going to expire, and so we're going to be actually getting out of that probably today for alert subscribers. But for this new position, we'll look at the 39 days to expiration. I always want to be kind of in that 30 to 60 day window, and so 39 works fine. And I'll be looking at an iron condor. So if we take a look at about the 20 delta, we got the 21 there. Let's right click, sell iron condor. Go 3 strikes wide for our wings. So we're going to move that up to 147. And then if we take a look on the put side, same thing. We got a 20 delta there, which is the 131. And then we will move this 3 points wide as well, which would be 128. Looks like collecting about an 81-cent credit. With the market just opening and the volatility, looks like these these spreads are a little bit wide. But let's take a look at it on the Analyze tab. Let's click off our current vertical position here. So here's what that looks like. spread this out a little bit so you can see it. Max profit of 81, max loss 219. That fits within our wheelhouse. What I'm going to do is I'm not gonna get that filled yet. I'm going to wait for the markets to calm down. Let those spreads narrow a little bit before I try to get filled. And then once I do get filled, I will send that alert out to Navigation Alert subscribers. If you're not already a subscriber and you've been wanting to check it out, don't forget we've got a 2-week trial for just $7. So you can try out the Navigation Alert service to see if it fits with kind of what you want to do for your trading. But this is the kind of trade that we put out each and every week to our Navigation Alert subscribers. So hope this was helpful, everybody. Everyone have a great week of trading, and we'll talk to you next week.